Have you ever found yourself trapped in your own mind, replaying the same thoughts over and over, analyzing every word, every decision, every what if? Overthinking can feel like a heavy fog that clouds your judgment, drains your energy, and keeps you from taking action. It's a silent thief of happiness, productivity, and peace of mind. The truth is, thinking is not the problem. Overthinking is. When your mind constantly spins in circles, you delay decisions, magnify fears, and sabotage opportunities that could bring you closer to your dreams. The good news is that overthinking can be controlled. Like any skill, learning to quiet your mind and take decisive action is something you can practice. In this journey, we'll explore 7 essential chapters that will guide you to stop overthinking, regain clarity, and act with confidence. Each chapter provides practical strategies, mindset shifts, and habits to help you free yourself from mental clutter. By the end of this script, you'll understand how to break the cycle, calm your mind, and live with focus, clarity, and confidence. Are you ready to reclaim your peace of mind? Let's begin. Chapter 1. Understanding Overthinking. Before you can stop overthinking, you need to understand what it really is and why it happens. Overthinking is more than just having thoughts. It's a mental trap where your mind endlessly analyzes, doubts, and replays situations, often without solutions. It can make small problems seem huge, create anxiety over imagined scenarios, and keep you stuck in a loop of indecision. Recognizing this pattern is the first step toward breaking free. Overthinking often stems from a desire for control or fear of making mistakes. Your brain believes that by thinking deeply, it can predict outcomes, avoid failure, or make the perfect decision. But the truth is, overthinking rarely leads to clarity. Instead, it creates mental exhaustion, stress, and procrastination. When you understand this, you realize that overthinking is not a sign of intelligence or caution, it's a habit that can be changed. Another key aspect of understanding overthinking is noticing its triggers. Common triggers include uncertainty, big decisions, self-doubt, or past mistakes. By identifying what situations ignite this mental spiral, you can anticipate them and prepare strategies to stop it before it consumes your mind. It's also important to understand the consequences of overthinking. Beyond mental fatigue, it can harm relationships, reduce productivity, and prevent you from seizing opportunities. Every hour spent overanalyzing is an hour lost from action. Realizing the cost of this habit strengthens your motivation to change. Understanding overthinking also involves observing your thought patterns without judgment. Journaling, mindfulness, or simply pausing to notice when your mind spirals can help you separate facts from imagined fears. Awareness is powerful. It gives you the choice to redirect your mind instead of being controlled by it. Once you understand what overthinking is, why it happens, and how it affects you, you lay the groundwork for change. Knowledge alone won't stop the habit, but it empowers you to take deliberate steps toward a calmer, clearer mind. In the next chapter, we'll explore practical strategies to quiet your mental chatter and regain control over your thoughts. Chapter 2. Recognizing Triggers and Patterns. Stopping overthinking begins with awareness. To change a habit, you must first understand what sparks it. Overthinking rarely happens randomly. It is usually triggered by specific situations, emotions, or thoughts. Recognizing these triggers and patterns is the key to breaking free from the cycle. Start by observing your thoughts. Keep a small journal or note on your phone, and each time you notice yourself overanalyzing, write down the situation, your emotions, and the thoughts running through your mind. Are you worrying about the future? Replaying past mistakes? Doubting your decisions? Over time, patterns will emerge, Maybe you overthink after receiving criticism, before making important choices, or late at night when your mind is tired. Identifying these patterns gives you the awareness needed to intercept them before they spiral out of control. Emotional triggers play a huge role in overthinking. Anxiety, stress, and self-doubt are powerful fuels. When you feel uncertain or insecure, your brain tends to loop, trying to anticipate every possible outcome. Recognizing your emotional state can alert you that your mind is vulnerable to overthinking. Once you notice this, you can take proactive steps, deep breathing, stepping away, or talking to someone to calm your emotions before they feed the cycle. Situational triggers are equally important. Certain environments, conversations, or decisions may consistently trigger overthinking. For example, social media comparisons, workplace stress, or family conflicts often ignite the habit. By being aware of these situations, you can set boundaries, plan coping strategies, or approach them with a mindset that reduces mental rumination. Another pattern to notice is repetitive thoughts. Overthinking often manifests as a loop. Your mind keeps replaying the same scenario, asking the same questions, or imagining worst-case outcomes. Recognizing that these thoughts are repetitive and unproductive is essential. Label them as thinking traps rather than facts, and remind yourself that continuing the loop won't solve anything. Finally, understanding your triggers allows you to take control of your environment and routines. If certain times of day or specific circumstances worsen overthinking, adjust your habits accordingly. For example, avoid checking emails right before bed or limit exposure to people or media that heighten stress. Awareness plus action is a powerful combination. It transforms reactive overthinking into proactive choice. By recognizing triggers and patterns, you begin to catch overthinking early, before it drains your energy and clouds your decisions. Awareness is the first step toward intervention. Once you know what sparks the cycle, you can move on to strategies that interrupt it and restore clarity, calm, and control over your mind. In the next chapter, we'll explore practical techniques to interrupt the overthinking cycle and regain mental peace. Chapter 3: Techniques to Interrupt Overthinking. Recognizing overthinking and its triggers is important, but awareness alone isn't enough. To regain control of your mind, you need practical techniques that interrupt the cycle and redirect your thoughts. These strategies help you stop mental spirals before they take over your day and steal your peace of mind. One of the most effective techniques is the 5-second rule. When you notice yourself overthinking, take immediate action within 5 seconds. Do something physical or productive to shift your focus. This could be standing up and stretching, going for a short walk, or starting a task you've been putting off. The momentary pause and action break the loop, signaling to your brain that thinking alone isn't the solution. Action is the antidote to overthinking. Another powerful approach is mindfulness and grounding exercises. Overthinking often occurs when your mind drifts to the past or worries about the future. Mindfulness brings your attention back to the present moment. Simple techniques like focusing on your breath, noticing physical sensations, or paying attention to your surroundings can anchor you to now. When practiced consistently, mindfulness trains your brain to notice overthinking patterns early and gently redirect attention. Journaling is another effective method to interrupt mental spirals. Write down the thoughts running through your mind without judgment. Seeing them on paper transforms abstract worries into tangible statements you can analyze rationally. Often, writing reveals that many worries are exaggerated or unnecessary, which naturally reduces their power. Additionally, journaling provides clarity on next steps, turning overthinking into actionable solutions instead of endless rumination. Distraction is also a valid tool when used strategically. Engaging in activities that fully absorb your mind, exercise, creative hobbies, reading, or focused work redirects mental energy away from overthinking. The key is to choose activities that are engaging and purposeful rather than mindless scrolling, which can fuel further anxiety. Finally, practice thought-stopping techniques. When a negative or repetitive thought arises, consciously say stop to yourself or visualize a mental stop sign. Immediately replace the thought with a positive, constructive alternative or shift to a task that requires focus. Over time, your mind learns that rumination is not the default, and interrupting thoughts becomes more natural. Interrupting overthinking is about creating space between your thoughts and your reactions. By using action, mindfulness, journaling, purposeful distraction, and thought-stopping techniques, you regain control over your mind and reduce mental clutter. These strategies don't eliminate thinking. They empower you to think intentionally rather than being trapped by endless loops. With consistent practice, you can replace anxiety and doubt with clarity, confidence, and calm. Chapter 4. Replacing negative thoughts with positive action. Overthinking often thrives on negative thoughts. What if I fail? What if I make the wrong choice? What if I'm not good enough? Left unchecked, these thoughts can paralyze you and keep you stuck in mental loops. The key to stopping overthinking is not just to interrupt these thoughts, but to replace them with positive, constructive actions that move you forward. The first step is recognizing the negative thought and labeling it as a thought, not a fact. Many people believe every worry or what-if scenario is real, which gives these thoughts unnecessary power. By identifying them as mental noise, you create a distance between your mind and the thought. This allows you to respond consciously rather than react automatically. Next, replace worry with action. Overthinking often feels productive because your brain believes you are solving problems by analyzing endlessly. In reality, the most effective way to stop negative thoughts is to take concrete steps. For example, if you're overthinking a project, start by completing a small, tangible part of it. Action builds momentum, boosts confidence, and proves to your mind that you don't need to dwell endlessly to achieve results. Another method is reframing your perspective. Instead of focusing on worst-case scenarios, ask yourself, what's the best I can do right now? Or what lessons can I learn if things don't go perfectly? Shifting your focus from fear to opportunity weakens overthinking and channels energy toward constructive solutions. Visualization also works effectively. Picture yourself completing tasks successfully or calmly handling situations you usually overthink. Visualization strengthens your confidence and primes your brain for success, reducing mental spirals of doubt. Your mind begins to expect positive outcomes rather than dwelling on uncertainty. Finally, cultivate a habit of immediate problem-solving. When a negative thought arises, pause and ask, is this something I can act on now? If yes, take steps immediately. If no, consciously let it go and redirect your attention. Overthinking thrives on indecision. Taking action or deliberately releasing control breaks the loop. Replacing negative thoughts with positive action is about shifting from mental rumination to practical solutions. By recognizing negative patterns, taking small steps, reframing your mindset, visualizing success, and solving problems proactively, you transform overthinking into focus, confidence, and productivity. Your mind becomes a tool for growth, not a trap of doubt. Over time, this approach rewires your thinking, making calm, decisive action your default response instead of endless mental spinning. Chapter 5. Managing Stress and Anxiety to Reduce Overthinking. Stress and anxiety are major fuel for overthinking. When your mind feels overwhelmed, it seeks control through repeated analysis, replaying scenarios, and imagining worst-case outcomes. Learning to manage stress and calm anxiety is crucial for breaking this cycle and reclaiming your mental peace. The first step is awareness of your stress levels. Notice the physical and emotional signs of tension, racing heart, shallow breathing, restlessness, or a constant stream of what-if thoughts. When you identify stress early, you can intervene before it triggers prolonged overthinking. Simple awareness alone can help you pause and redirect your energy. Breathing exercises are one of the fastest ways to calm an anxious mind. Deep, slow breaths activate the parasympathetic nervous system, signaling to your body that it is safe and that it can relax. Techniques like inhaling for 4 counts, holding for 4 counts, and exhaling for 6 counts can quickly reduce mental clutter and restore focus. Regular practice strengthens your ability to stay calm under pressure. Physical activity is another effective stress reducer. Exercise releases endorphins, improves mood, and shifts your focus from worries to the present moment. Even short walks, stretching, or light workouts can interrupt the cycle of overthinking, giving your mind a break from repetitive thought patterns. Mindfulness and meditation are powerful tools for long-term stress management. By observing thoughts without judgment, you learn that thoughts are temporary and not always true. Daily meditation practice trains your mind to notice when it begins overthinking and to gently redirect attention back to the present. Over time, this reduces anxiety and strengthens mental clarity. Another strategy is structured problem solving. Often, overthinking grows when you feel stuck. Write down your concerns, identify which problems can be acted upon, and create a step-by-step plan. When action is taken, stress decreases and your mind feels more in control. For worries outside your control, consciously letting them go or postponing thinking about them can save mental energy. Finally, cultivating healthy routines, adequate sleep, balanced nutrition, and regular relaxation supports emotional stability. A fatigued or undernourished mind is more likely to spiral into overthinking. Prioritizing your overall well-being strengthens resilience, allowing you to handle stress without getting trapped in mental loops. Managing stress and anxiety is not about avoiding challenges, it's about equipping your mind to respond calmly and constructively. By practicing awareness, deep breathing, physical activity, mindfulness, structured problem-solving, and maintaining healthy routines, you reduce the fuel that powers overthinking. The calmer your mind, the easier it is to act decisively and maintain mental clarity. Chapter 6. Cultivating Confidence and Decisiveness. A lack of confidence is one of the main reasons people overthink. When you doubt your choices or fear making mistakes, your mind spins endlessly, trying to predict every possible outcome. To stop overthinking, it's essential to build confidence and learn to make decisions with clarity and courage. The first step is trusting yourself. Confidence grows when you believe in your ability to handle challenges. Remind yourself of past successes, no matter how small. Every time you overcame a difficulty or made a good decision, your mind proves you are capable. Reflecting on these experiences strengthens your belief in your judgment and reduces the need to overanalyze. Another key strategy is starting with small decisions. Decisiveness is like a muscle, it strengthens with practice. Begin by making choices quickly in low-stakes situations, such as what to eat, what task to start first, or which route to take. Each small decision reinforces your ability to trust yourself and reduces the tendency to overthink bigger choices. Over time, your confidence grows, making even major decisions feel manageable. Embrace imperfection. Many people overthink because they are obsessed with making the perfect choice. Accepting that mistakes are part of growth allows you to act without fear. Remember, taking imperfect action is better than remaining paralyzed by indecision. Every choice teaches you lessons that refine future decisions, turning overthinking into learning and progress. Set clear priorities. When you know what truly matters, decisions become easier. Overthinking often arises when every option feels equally important. By defining your values and goals, you can quickly eliminate choices that don't align with them, reducing mental clutter and speeding up decision-making. Finally, take action immediately when possible. Delaying decisions gives your mind time to spin out of control. Even small, decisive steps break the cycle of rumination. Once you act, your confidence grows, stress decreases, and clarity returns. Action builds momentum, turning indecision into forward movement. Cultivating confidence and decisiveness transforms overthinking into deliberate action. By trusting yourself, practicing small decisions, embracing imperfection, setting priorities, and taking immediate action, you train your mind to act rather than endlessly analyze. Confidence acts like armor for your thoughts. It protects you from doubt, reduces fear, and allows your mind to focus on what truly matters. With this mindset, overthinking loses its power, and you move through life with clarity, purpose, and determination. Chapter 7. Building a calm and focused mind for the future. The ultimate goal in stopping overthinking is to create a mind that is calm, clear, and focused, one that doesn't get trapped in endless loops of doubt and worry. Building this mindset requires consistent effort, daily habits, and intentional practices that strengthen mental clarity and emotional balance. The first step is developing a daily mindfulness routine. Mindfulness trains your brain to observe thoughts without judgment, which reduces the tendency to overanalyze. Even 5 to 10 minutes of focused breathing, meditation, or simply noticing your surroundings each day can gradually rewire your brain to stay present. Over time, you'll notice your mind naturally drifts less into what-if scenarios. Journaling for reflection is another powerful tool. Writing down thoughts, concerns, and ideas allows you to externalize mental clutter. By seeing worries on paper, you can distinguish between actionable problems and unnecessary rumination. Journaling also provides a record of progress, showing you how far you've come in managing overthinking and building mental clarity. Prioritizing your mental and physical well-being strengthens focus and reduces the triggers for overthinking. Adequate sleep, balanced nutrition, exercise, and regular breaks all contribute to a calmer mind. When your body and mind are healthy, stress has less power and your mental clarity improves naturally. Visualization and goal setting play a key role in maintaining focus for the future. Spend time imagining yourself handling challenges calmly, making decisions confidently, and achieving your goals without being trapped in mental loops. Visualization primes your brain for success, reinforces positive patterns, and reduces anxiety about unknown outcomes. Setting boundaries and creating structure is essential. Overthinking often grows in chaotic environments or under pressure from constant demands. Limit unnecessary commitments, say no to distractions, and allocate focused time for important tasks. When your mind has structure, it becomes easier to concentrate, act decisively, and remain calm. Finally, practice patience and self-compassion. Changing mental habits takes time. You may still overthink occasionally, but each effort to redirect your mind strengthens your focus. Treat yourself kindly, celebrate progress, and understand that building a calm and focused mind is a lifelong practice, not a quick fix. By cultivating mindfulness, journaling, prioritizing well-being, visualizing success, creating structure, and practicing self-compassion, you equip your mind for the future. You develop a mental environment where focus, clarity, and calm are the defaults rather than exceptions. This is the ultimate antidote to overthinking, a mind that acts with intention, responds with clarity, and lives with peace, ready to face challenges and pursue goals without being trapped in doubt. Conclusion. Overthinking is a habit, not a permanent state. It can trap you in endless loops of doubt, fear, and hesitation, but you have the power to break free. By understanding overthinking, recognizing triggers, interrupting mental spirals, replacing negative thoughts with action, managing stress, cultivating confidence, and building a calm, focused mind, you equip yourself with practical tools to reclaim clarity and peace. Change begins with awareness and continues through deliberate action. Each small step you take to redirect your thoughts, make decisions, and focus on what matters strengthens your mental resilience. Life becomes simpler, calmer, and more purposeful when your mind is clear. Start today. Stop overthinking and watch as your decisions, confidence, and opportunities flourish. Your mind is not a cage, it's your most powerful tool. Use it wisely, and freedom follows.